You don't like Clint Eastwood?
I'm talking about like the Clint Eastwood side that we saw, like Gran Torino and further. You know goddamn well why he made that movie.
Why?
So that he could say as many slurs as possible within a 2-hour time frame.
On a bright idea brought on by Richard, the Dicks decide they were going to travel to Africa to solve crimes for the people there. Unfortunately, their business wasn't welcomed with open arms. No one hired them for the entire 3 weeks they were there. So out of money, out of hope, and in a desperation attempt to try and get back home, the Dicks go to the Timbuktu airport and hold up a sign saying, "Discount mystery solves." Interest seems to be low at the airport until at a distance, the Dicks see someone they recognize. Kristy Jansen from Unethical Podcast. She's known to the Dicks as someone who pays their bills and wants mysteries solved. Richard approaches. "Hey, Kristy, what are you doing here?"
It's my favorite holiday destination.
Timbuktu, yeah.
No, specifically the Timbuktu airport.
Just, yeah,
Yeah,
very specifically.
I don't leave the airport. Have you guys not seen this place? Check it out. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's cool. Like hot pretzels over there. I like that. $32 hot pretzel. I'm pretty cool with that.
Yeah, and because I have been flying so much, I've been watching a lot of really great movies.
Nice.
I saw this one called Varsity Blues. Don't know if you guys have seen it.
Oh, fuck yeah, I saw that.
I thought you said great movies.
It is a great movie. If you like sports
Well,
Not
movies.
according to Metacritic.
No, I'm not into sports. Not into sports movies, especially movies about football. If
Is
that's
that,
what you
did you do the
football?
quotation marks because you're being snobby Australian right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, got us good.
It's American football.
Well-
American football.
How much padding do you guys need? Seriously.
Enough to try and prevent CTE.
More than they actually have. Because they are not doing well.
No, neither are their wives because a lot of them are getting beat up.
Yeah, because they've all got traumatic brain injuries. They don't
Exactly.
even recognize their wives when they see them.
I know a mystery that involves Varsity Blues. If you want us to solve that for you, it's going to cost money though, half
Oh.
price. But
Yeah, of course. You just add it to my tab.
perfect. Your tab is actually quite low right now. Boo came and paid me in dildos.
Oh.
Oh, I wondered where they all went.
Yeah.
Right up Richard's ass.
Yeah.
I thought you were kind of leaning to the side a little bit there.
I'm leaning into it, baby. I like it. Get that prostate a tickling.
An elite team of private detectives.
What if balloons are aliens? Maybe that's the key component we're missing.
Cover-ups.
John's guilty.
Mysteries that need to be solved.
Maybe Mormons need mountains.
Richard, shut up.
Today, we're going to talk about this guy. Let's watch a little clip here right off the fucking bat.
This is their first year to play in our district, and they were 4A all last year. Since they dropped down to 3A, they've been killing people. Hell, they've been hurting people.
Believe me when I tell you, Mox will stick to the game plan.
That's what we came to hear. Thank you, Sam.
Hey, what's the deal with these kids?
These are my people.
Your people.
My people.
Kyle, did you start a cult?
Yep.
That's so sweet.
Ow! Come on, Fricos, get lost. Come on. Now that's it. No more religions. You're healthy. You're going to play football. You understand?
So, yeah, that's from Varsity Blues. That is
Quick
the...
question.
Yes.
Based on the accents and the attire, was that like a junior KKK deal?
A junior KKK deal?
Yeah.
I think so.
You know what? It doesn't move on past that in the movie, but I'm sure if had that Kyle Moxon grown up to be a man in Texas, where he's from, he would have been either A,
Yeah.
joining the KKK, or B, starting the FFF, which is just a better version of the KKK.
Is that a spoiler? Is that what we're solving? Did he not grow up?
That young man did grow up to a ripe old age of 19, and no one's ever seen him since.
Cool. Well, maybe he just graduated and got the full hood instead of the bandana, so nobody knows what he looks like anymore.
That could be it. See, we're starting theories before we even know anything about it. I like it.
Exactly.
Fucking right. This is how we solve cases. Theory, solve. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck yeah.
I wasn't quite sure whether they were KKK, like, starter headmans, or whether it was like Karate Kid.
That's it. It really feels like it kind of makes sense that they wouldn't get the whole hood. They'd have to like earn more and more of it, kind of like you do colors on your belt in martial arts.
Yeah,
like you say, like
absolutely.
Like say you say like a Kristy in the Morning level amount of slurs, then you get like a whole cap. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Yes.
I feel you. The Karate Kid clan. That's what that was started at. The KKK, the Karate Kid clan, and then it would have moved to Clue, Karate Clan, Ku Klux Klan eventually. So, yes, that's where we're at. And that was a clip from Varsity Blues. The young man there in the movie is called Kyle Doxson. He's the younger brother of James Vanderbeek, who's the lead of that movie. His real name in real life was Joseph David Wolfgang Pichler. Now, Pichler is Pichler, and half the stuff I listen to about this, I listen to like a bunch because there's not super lots of info. Half of them were calling him Pickler. The other half were calling him Pichler. I just think the half that called him Pickler are morons. So it's Pichler. Yeah. I don't know why somebody thought that was Pickler.
Agreed.
So he was a budding child star in the 90s, 2000s. He was born Valentine's Day, 1987 in Bremerton, Washington. Bremerton is located in Kitsap County, Washington, and is about 16 miles west of Seattle, about an hour away. I didn't convert it to kilometers because I'm over it. You're going to hear half kilometers, half miles. I'm doing it now. I'm doing some in kilometers, some in miles. I'm not placating to nobody.
If anything, that's like more American than just doing it in miles, because it's like adamantly refusing to appease anybody.
Perfect.
See, I would go a step further and I wouldn't even acknowledge it. I would pretend like you just understand both.
There you go.
He's still Canadian at the end of the day, right?
Yeah,
So
I know. I'm not really
slack.
American, but I'm hanging out with you guys enough where I'm getting there. He's the fourth of 5 children. I only know 3 of the siblings' names, 2 older sisters named Samantha and Shauna, and he had a younger brother named Matthew, who goes by AJ for some weird reason. I couldn't figure out why, but Matthew for some reason turns into AJ.
Makes sense.
Sounds like it to me. Little Joseph loved acting from a very, very young age. I read somewhere that he was inspired to act when he saw the 1991 Oscars. He would have been 4 years old. I don't know what he was right into with the 91 Oscars, but it was a fucking great year for Best Picture noms. Dances with Wolves. I don't know if you ever watched that shit, but that movie's fucking amazing. Godfather Part 3, which is the weakest of the Godfather movies, but still a good movie. Goodfellas, amazing. And Ghost was up for Best Picture. I had no fucking clue that Ghost was up for Best Picture. That's phenomenal.
Wow. Yeah.
Phenomenal. So yeah, anyway, this kid, I don't know what the like I said, I don't know at 4 years old why he's watching the Oscars and loving it, but fuck, it made him want to act. And his parents were super supportive of his acting. When he was 5 years old, he's in a commercial for a Seattle department store, which kind of like set off his little 4-year-old, I guess he was 5 years old at the time, his 5-year-old brain, like, I'm a fucking star. I'm moving to LA, Mom. We're moving to LA, motherfuckers. And at 6, he was moving to fucking LA. I don't really know who moved with him, like if it was his mom or his dad, or if he moved there. Like, it's really unclear because he's 6 years old. He must have moved with someone. But I do know that he was moving back and forth.
Did you say earlier he was the younger brother of James Vanderbeek?
In the
movie, yeah.
As the character,
oh, yes. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm just checking.
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that would rock, though, because it'd be like, duh, he moved with James Vanderbeek.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Of course he went with James. James is the star now, right?
After he got the commercial, like I said, he moved to LA. Not sure with who, but I know he was traveling back and forth between LA and Bremerton. So whenever he was on set, he would be like going to school in LA, but whenever he was not shooting something, he would be back in Bremerton. And he's successful pretty quick. One of the first things he gets is an episode of Lois and Clark. He's one of the little kids in that show. I don't know if you remember that. Dean Cain Superman vehicle.
I was going to ask if it was that one.
Harry Hatcher.
Yeah, Terry Hatcher. Yeah.
What a terrible fucking Superman.
Yeah. You know what? At the time, I didn't hate it, but I go back and I look at that. I'm like, nah, you're not. No.
Not even close. Not even close. We've done better and better over time, though.
For sure. With Superman,
they're
for
really
sure.
good. Yeah, but I just still think we
except
peaked
for
with...
that Christian guy. What was his name? Christian Ruth? What the fuck?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, visually we peaked with him. Like, he's like physically the most Superman looking motherfucker, and then the only one I think is gonna beat him is the new guy. He looks identical to like Super. Yeah.
Who's the new guy? I haven't seen the new guy yet. I haven't seen him.
David Cornsweat. He's a limey, believe it or not.
What did you say his name was?
David Cornsweat.
That's not his real name, please.
I just told you he's fucking British. Of course he has a sing-song Mary Poppins fucking name.
Cornsweat.
Are
you kidding me?
Yeah.
No, that's not a real name.
Blame the people that dumped you on that island, because they have all kinds of stupid fucking names.
God. I can't accept anyone other than Henry.
Little Pichler.
Yeah, he rocks.
Little Pichler also lands a role, pretty big actually, 5 or 6 minutes of screen time as the sick boy in the Wesley Snipes, Robert De Niro smash hit 1996, The Fan. I don't know if you guys watched this movie, but
I've never even heard of this.
The Fan?
I would have never have guessed that there was any overlap in Wesley Snipes and Robert De Niro's filmography.
Yeah. Wesley Snipes was huge in his day. In the 90s, he was gigantic.
Oh, yeah.
He was about the same size as a De Niro. Like, I shouldn't say, like, overall now, no. But in the 90s, they were doing the same amount of fucking work.
I remember Blade, motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Blades were, that was like
New
peak.
Jack City.
New Jack City's fucking awesome. That movie's awesome.
Oh, incredible film.
So here's a little clip of Pichler and The Fan as the sick boy. Leguizamo there too.
Hey, thanks a lot for coming. Bobby. Nice to meet you.
Hey, look, got the same hairdo.
Wesley Snipes, just for everyone. Well, I'm gonna pause that. He's bald. He walks into the cancer kid's room and says, "I have the same haircut." Let's keep going.
Hey, come on, shake his hand.
So how you doing, man? You hanging in there? What's your name?
Sean.
Sean? Sean. Wow, what a coincidence. That's my son's name, too. Look, I have a present for you. There you go. See, maybe it'll make you feel better.
Bobby Rayburn.
Tomorrow, hit a home run for me.
I love stereotypes.
Please?
I'll try.
Anyways, that's I'm just showing you because like that's not a fucking little. Anyways, this is he's making some moves here in Hollywood as a young kid.
The kid or Wesley Snipes?
Snipes was making moves on that kid. I don't know. He's from Hollywood, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, that fucking rock. That was the most tone deaf scene I've ever seen. He's just like, same haircut. Because you have cancer. Also, maybe this baseball bat will cure your cancer. Maybe you'll feel better.
The only time I feel bad is when I find out your name is the same as my kid's name.
What is? Yeah, I'm sorry. I need a little context on the plot there. Like, did his kid die?
If I'm not mistaken, yes. I can't remember specifically. I do remember that that's a movie where he's a baseball star and there's a fan that's trying to like kill him, and De Niro's the fucking detective stopping the fucking attack on the.
Oh, I thought the plot revolved around the cancer kid. My bad.
No, the kid's just he's just a plot device to like make him look like a good guy, I guess. I don't know. I don't fucking understand. I'd have to rewatch the whole movie, which I'm not doing.
Well, that's silly. They had a very easy way to make Wesley Snipes look like a good guy. have the kid not actually have cancer. He just all of a sudden turns into a vampire, and Wesley breaks the bat and then plunges it into his chest.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, that would have been fucking amazing. They just Blade before he was Blade.
Yeah,
just killed
exactly. Yeah.
Pichler keeps doing more and more stuff as the years go on. Gets a bunch of episodes of dumb shit. Like he's a Land Before Time. He's in that, like a sing-song version of it though. Like it's just like a direct to VHS fucking Land Before Time 15, where we sing every song.
I thought all of those films were direct to VHS.
They could have been. I don't know. But my point is, it wasn't one of the good ones. It was the shitty one. 99, he gets the Varsity Blues thing. And that's pretty big for him. He's got more screen time in that. I showed you the Varsity Blues clip. Then he gets to be in Beethoven's Third and Fourth. You know, remember those old Beethoven movies? So he's the new family that watches the old St. Bernard, you know? Those ones are straight to VHS. But, like, that's some pretty cool shit. Like, you're in the whole movie, like, as the kid, one of the two kids that watch the dog. And, like, Judge Reinhold gets to be your fake dad for a couple months. I fucking think that's wicked. You know?
Yeah.
That's 2000, 2001. The last movie he did was a starring role in a movie called Children on Their Birthdays, based on a Truman Capote short story. He starred alongside Jesse Plemons, who was fucking amazing. And Jesse Plemons was also a child star at the time. So that's
keeps
cool.
Going back further and further every time I hear about him.
Who? Plemons? Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, first it's like Breaking Bad, and then I can't remember what I was looking up the other day, but he wasn't. I was like, oh my fuck, he wasn't that, and on and on and on. So
yeah, Plemons is the fucking fat Matt Damon. I love him.
He's not really anymore.
Not anymore. No, he before he did though. But also that movie.
Am I supposed to know who he is? Sorry.
Plemons, if I showed you, I will show you a clip of this movie, and you'll know who he is.
Astounding. Like, he's probably the best character actor, like, working today. He's so fucking good. Okay. And he pulled Kirsten Dunst.
Know who he is. So.
Here's a little. Actually, I should have showed you this earlier. I forgot. Here's a little commercial that, like, this. I'm just showing you he's working a lot. Here's a little commercial that he was into for Life cereal.
Where's Derek? I don't know. Now even better tasting? Oh, right. You're the new Mikey. You have to say that. Nuh-uh. It really does taste better. I know what life tastes like. And now it's yummier. Yummier? Yeah.
It's the same wholesome, lightly sweetened toasted oat cereal, only now it tastes even better.
Anyways, this kid's working. Here's the clip of that.
Speculation. The reason that life tasted better then was because that's when they switched to corn syrup finally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there he is. Holy shit.
Jesse Plemons and this entire movie, Children on Their Birthdays from 2002, is on YouTube if you guys want to watch it. It's fucking I cranked through about half of it, and then I realized Tom Arnold annoys the shit out of me. Tom Arnold's like the dad in it.
Oh, yeah, I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, it's set in the 40s, and it's okay. Like, I just kind of want to see how if this kid was actually good, because I know Plemons is good, and they're equally as good. And then here's like,
hey, little brother.
We didn't do nothing, Butch.
Oh, you in our field, little brother.
Since when is this your field?
Since we staked our claim.
You want to get through, you gotta pay a toll.
I ain't paying you nothing.
Fine, you don't gotta pay, but if you want to pass, you gotta eat the head.
Don't do it, Preach.
Shut up, Billy Bob.
That was great. What did it taste like? That was good. That was the greatest thing ever. You made Butch throw up. So what did it taste like?
I just want to show you with Plemons. That's some shit. I guarantee this kid probably would have went on to make more shit eventually, is really what I'm trying to hammer down on this. Yeah, so after this movie, things start to get a little bit more complicated for Pichler. School in LA, he was starting to join high school, and they said, you're not going to be able to travel back and forth. You have to either be here full time or you're not coming to school. So his parents were like, just how about you come back home to Bremerton, do your high school, get it like a normal high school experience, you know, and then when you're done high school, you can go back and finish your like pursue your dream. It's just I don't really think missing school and all that stuff's really healthy. And plus being in that environment growing up is probably not like parents probably saw like it's not healthy to miss school and become a weirdo. You know, like I don't know. Joe's pissed. He doesn't want to, but he does. He ends up moving back to Bremerton. The parents, the way they describe it is he was a little upset, but he dealt with it. He was cool. I guarantee he was pissed. You know what I mean? He's just starting a movie.
Yeah.
He probably was a fucking super mad and probably depressed about it. Probably very sad about the whole thing. So that's not how they frame it, the family, which I don't want to disparage the family at all. Maybe they were right. If it were me and that was my dream, my parents kind of said no for the next 4 years while you're on a roll. And knowing how Hollywood is, it's like very streaky. You can lose it easily, right?
Oh yeah, they'd forget about him in an instant.
He's a child actor. He gets pulled away back to his hometown. He has to go back to school. This is like perfect 2000s era where this would be some sort of movie.
Yeah, he could have made a movie about it after.
Yeah,
sure.
and he just makes a movie about his life, and boom, he's back on top.
Back on top, for sure. But yeah, no, I guess everyone, when he went back to high school, was like calling the movie stars here and stuff. I don't know if that really like affected him socially. But you see pictures, if you look up Pichler now, like in his later high school years, he looks dorky, which is fair enough. He gets into Magic the Gathering. I don't know if you guys know what that is. I know RJ knows what that is.
Oh my God. Yeah, my son, Jesse, was totally, he still has all these cards, but he was totally into that a few years ago.
Yeah, me too. I play. I've a couple decks.
I play it like you play board games. I don't like do tournaments or anything. I just like pick out a bunch of monsters that look really cool and put together what's probably the worst deck anybody's ever played with. But at least like all the monsters are badass.
Yeah, that's cool. That's the healthy way to play it. There's people that spend thousands of dollars a month on trying to get the new card. But anyways, apparently he gets into Magic and he has a pretty impressive collection. That's what all his friends say. This is a very collector oriented side of things too. Like there's cards from when Magic first came out that sold for $500,000 before. There are cards that are worth $5,000. There are cards that are all over the place in value, and he started to get value into his Magic cards, which he liked his Magic cards, which is cool. So to make him extra popular during his sophomore year, he gets braces. That's just part of his thing. He gets the braces. Then he graduates high school in 2005. Same year he turns 18. When he turns 18, he gets access to his trust fund. Because when you're a kid actor, all your earnings go into a trust fund for you to be able to get when you're 18. Your parents get their 10% cut for being your agent or whatever. Everything else gets put into a trust fund. That's because of Macaulay Culkin's parents, actually. They robbed him blind from all of his movies, and they made laws on the book because of him.
Yeah. His
plan was to move back to LA, but he wanted to wait for his braces to come off first, which were supposed to come off mid-2006. So after graduating, while still waiting for his braces to come off, he gets a job working as a telephone technician at a place called Teletech. Now, I worked at a place called Teletech in the early 2000s, but it was like a call center, and I sold American cell phone plans for Nextel. Do you guys remember Nextel phones?
Nice.
Radio phones?
Yeah, those are the ones that work like walkie-talkies, right?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I used to sell that shit. I used to be on the corporate side of things, like 19 years old, like $100,000 a month accounts, fucking 3,000 phones. And they'd be like, well, I want a credit. I'd be like, sure. I was the best technician again. I was the fucking guy because I didn't give a fuck. You want a credit? You got it, pal. You want a free cell phone? Hey, here's 100. Fuck yeah. I would do shit like that all the time. Nextel's not a real
they're out of
place
business.
That's what I was going to say. Nextel's not a place anymore. Yeah, so I don't know if he was doing that. I don't know if it was a call center or if he was actually like fixing Nextel phones or like whatever, fixing other phones. Either way, he had a job. He didn't just get his trust fund and just live off of that. He decided I want to like earn and just kind of save my money. But he gets his own apartment across town from where his parents and his sisters lived. kind of like a normal 18-year-old. He loved Mexican food. He loved Italian food, apparently. He loved Jack in the Box. It was his favorite restaurant. He had a pet guinea pig named Booby, which I found was a good detail. He still played Magic the Gathering. And like I said, his collection's getting more and more impressive. Some sources say that he was experimenting with alcohol and drugs at this time, but what 18-year-old isn't? So I think that's quite normal as well. Except for maybe Rick. I don't think Rick did drugs at 18, did you?
Not at 18, no.
Have you ever done drug, Rick?
Nothing like hard, but like weed. But that was in high school early, and then I stopped for a long time.
You didn't tell me you've been to Columbia and you've never done blow.
No, never done blow.
Why would you bother going?
I'm actually glad I didn't. I got all my belongings wiped down on the way back. They thought I was smuggling.
The coffee! The coffee, RJ.
It's like, yeah, I went to Vegas and we ate at Applebee's and saw their Walmart. Gambling? No, I didn't do any of that.
Columbia didn't have an Applebee's, or I probably would have gone to it.
Let's be fair, though. Rick went to Columbia and did cocaine, and he just didn't know it. Like, it was on something. You know what I mean? Like, it was on his plate before he made his
if
food.
he drank coffee in Columbia, I'm sure he had numerous amounts of cocaine. So...
Yeah. But anyways, I kind of figured you were a straight edge like that, just smoking the pot. Me neither. I've never done drugs either.
No.
Yeah.
God.
I went into comedy. I did lots of drugs, too many. But
I'm purely into prescription medication.
Yeah, well, I've done a lot of that too without prescriptions.
Yeah. I didn't say I had prescriptions, man, did I?
I just thought since you're a nurse, you knew how to get the prescriptions. You know what I mean? Like, oh, my elbow's making this pain. Anything with a Pam?
Please.
Okay. Yeah. So by all accounts, this kid's a normal kid, said to be a good kid all around. People liked him. All he wanted to do was act, you know? So let's get into the little timeline here. Christmas 2005, Joe hangs out with his family all day. In the evening, he goes out with one of his friends to the movie The Producers, which was the day of release. So they were excited to see that Matthew McConaughey fucking from the stage to the big screen fucking transference. I hated that movie, by the way.
Matthew McConaughey. I love Matthew McConaughey.
Do you like that he killed people? Like he drunk driving killed people?
No.
Sorry if I ruined that for you. Anyways. Yeah, so actually the person he went to go... Yeah, he did. He killed some people drinking and driving.
I'll have a look at that later.
Back in his Ferris Bueller days, when he's very young.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes. So the person he went to go see this with was actually an ex-girlfriend named Cammie Walsh. Cammie, yeah. She says
she get any more Cammie and Kristen American names. Every girl in America is called Cammie or Kristen.
That's true. Yeah, the only reason that we say other names is just because we decided to pronounce them differently so that we could differentiate. But legally, yeah, you nailed it.
Cammie's a pretty big figure in this whole thing. She says she sees Joe a couple days later after Christmas. That's the only sighting between Christmas and January 4th. Joe either has a party at his house or he has a little party at his friend's house. It's really hard. Articles say two different things. I don't fucking know. I'm assuming it's his house because he ends up driving some people home. So to me, that makes sense that he was at his house to drive people home because otherwise he would need a ride home. You know what I mean? There's about 5 people there, including him. Either way, they're drinking, playing cards is what they said. I'm assuming that means playing magic cards. The night ends around 2:30 in the morning on January 5th. And Joe, like I said, gives a few of his friends a ride home, Justin and Kelly. He drops Kelly off first at her house. Then he drops Justin off at his house. Justin has a roommate named Jesse. Jesse later on says that he sees Joe inside of their house when he drops them off. But much later, Jesse changes his story that he said he hadn't seen Joe that night. So there's a little bit of a weird thing. The night of, he says, yeah, I saw him. A couple months later, no, I never saw him. Weird. Two other friends, Kyle and Nicole, drive themselves home. I'm going to say this right off the bat. The names of all these friends, except for Cammie and Justin, are all never said anywhere except for on like web sleuths, which I fucking dug into a lot on this. So like there could have been these friends' names could be something completely different. Justin's mentioned in an article, Cammy's mentioned in a bunch of articles. So everybody else, sure, it's all in web sleuths. Maybe. I don't know. I just want people to know these guys might even exist. So when questioned about the night, Justin said that Joe was in a good spirits all night during the party, but as soon as everyone starts to leave and says it's time to go, he gets pretty upset and his mood dips completely to like kind of pissed and angry, and nobody can really figure out why. But when he drops him off, that's the end of that. And they don't see him again. Later that morning, about an hour and a half later, 4:08 a.m., a call is made from Pichler's phone to Justin. When called, Justin said that Joe was upset and he was crying, and he was telling Justin, like, I can't stop drinking. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm crying. I don't know why I'm upset right now. And then Joe tells Justin, just, can you stay up for an hour? I'm going to call you back. And then he never calls him back. And that's the last time anyone ever heard from Joe. The next morning, or the next day, I guess, Joe's family tries to get a hold of him. They can't. So they start to go hunting him down because he's not typically pick up his phone. Joe's mother, Kathy, asks AJ, the 17-year-old brother, to go look for Joe at his apartment. AJ drives over there, finds that Joe's door was open, lights were on, which wasn't typical for him. He was very much locking his door and turning his lights off, apparently. So AJ gets in there, sits around the apartment, kind of waits for him for about an hour. Joe never shows up. So AJ leaves, shutting off the lights and closing and locking the doors on the way out. Kathy, while AJ was at the house, goes to his job at Teletech, to see if he was at work. Joe hadn't come into work for that day. They're kind of worried, so they start kind of going hunting for him. They're trying to look for his car. They can't find Joe's car anywhere. They kind of just end the search for the day. They call the police. They say they call the police that day, but they say they need to be missing for 72 hours before anybody can. He's a 19-year-old kid, dude. He's not a child anymore. So you got to give him time. Maybe he just went somewhere. He was drinking last night. His friends say so. 72 hours, which I find horseshit. If people are scared, you might as well fucking put it out right away. But that's what they said in 2002 or whatever, 2005 or whatever, 2006, I guess. Early 2006. So on January 9th, Kathy calls back and puts in an official missing persons report about her son. Yeah, police. She tells later on, she says the article that they said the 72-hour thing. The police say they never said that. They would have done it right away, which I don't know. I believe her on that. Like, come on. The police for sure said that. Yeah. They're like, he's 19 years old. Let him be. He's going to go have fun. So also on the 9th, AJ calls up Justin, the friend, to help with the search for Joe's car. Justin comes over in his car to pick up AJ. And AJ says that, and this is according to Web Sleuths. I'm just going to keep saying whenever something's according to Web Sleuths because I don't know how much I trust that, but this is according to Web Sleuths. So AJ said that Justin, when he got in the car, Justin kind of made some random turns and then drove straight to where Joe's car was parked. So his 2005 silver Toyota Corolla was found at the intersection above the Port Madison Narrows, right behind a Mexican restaurant called Taqueria Los Casaderos. I fucking hate that I can't pronounce things ever.
It's our favorite parts of the episode.
I know. I fucking yell at myself every time. AJ says, like, literally says, this is from the Web Sleuths. He says, like, it's weird because Justin just basically drove me right to the car. We've been looking for like 4 days, and Justin went, oh, I'll help you look. Weird. Now, according to an interview with Joe's sister Shauna and mother Kathy, apparently there was a black glove sitting beside the driver's side door of the car when they found it. And nobody didn't think anything of it at the time. They were just like, oh, here's Joe's car. Now they think it was probably an important piece of the puzzle as to where fucking Joe went. But police didn't notice it, or if they did, they didn't collect it as evidence at all. Police said that the car seemed undisturbed. The car was locked. They got it open. According to the police, nothing was out of the ordinary in the car. The police did find some stuff in the car that was a little bit disturbing, though. Most notable, there were 2 pages of poetry. Police assume Joe wrote them. The poetry's never been released. Otherwise, I would have made Rick read it 100%.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh,
But that's crazy that it hasn't been released.
The poetry?
So excited.
Yeah, you think if they're really trying to find a missing person, they would release anything that they could to help people maybe come up with ideas or, oh, I've heard someone say this or whatever, but
Yeah, I agree.
already sounds like they're kind of just brushing under the rug.
If the police wanted to find him, they may have released it. Well, I'll just give you a little bit of preface. So yeah, the one thing that they say was written in the poetry was, "I wish I was a stronger brother." Some of the letter insinuated that he wanted to leave all of his belongings to AJ. Police read this and they think it sounds like a suicide note. The family, on the other hand, has read the note. They don't call it a suicide note because it doesn't say goodbye and it doesn't like say anything really suicidal, like specific. It does have some fucking dark themed shit. And they do understand that it could, to someone who didn't know Joe, maybe it would sound like a suicide note, but it's not a suicide note, is what they're saying. AJ.
Oh, no, that's just Joe. That's just Joe.
Yeah. AJ thought the poetry was about Joe wanting to start over. So not to kill himself, but like maybe escape his life in Bremerton, Washington. So now that they found the car, Kathy and family gather a group of volunteers to go out and look for Joe. There was a search party of about 150 people. No one ever saw any type of trace of him at all. It's been 19 years and Joe has seemingly disappeared into thin air. There have been many theories as to what happened to Joe that night. So, yeah, let's figure out what happened to this little fucker. His sister says, like, she's very sad about the whole thing, which is understandable. She says, people say it gets easier with time. I guess that's true when you know where the person is. The worst feeling about all of this is the alone feeling. After time goes by, the press stops, people move on. But for us, it doesn't stop. It just keeps going. And then her mom's like, we don't have a resolution. And I struggle to get through this each day without answers to my whereabouts of my missing son. Police say he committed suicide. Shut up. So that's really how this thing went for them. Like, wow. They just went with suicide right off the bat. The family doesn't think it, and they're still looking. The cops stop.
If he committed suicide, they'd find a body somewhere eventually. Like,
agreed.
I'm sure Bremerton's not that big, right? It's
not huge. No, it's not huge.
Yeah. So eventually they'd find, bones or whatever. They'd at least find his braces,
Yeah, at some point, yeah, for sure. Braces are good. That's actually, I didn't even think of that. The braces probably would be one of the things that would be easier to find, especially if
a skull with braces on it. It'd be, you'd instantly know who it was. But the fact that they haven't found anything left over, is a bit weird.
Yeah, there's a good reason the cops think that there's no. I'll get to you why they think that more likely that he's a suicide. I don't know on this one. Honestly, I've done a lot on this, and I can't discount suicide, but I also don't really, it doesn't sound like it to me.
Yeah.
The first theory is that he ran back to LA. At first, that's what police suggested, that maybe he ran back to LA. AJ kind of made it sound like he wanted to run back because the poetry, that's what he kind of like, I think that's what he's insinuating, like he's done with Bremerton, back to LA kind of thing.
Maybe he was just waiting for us to try and solve it so that he could make his next big break into.
That would be amazing. Like, that would be the funniest fucking thing.
Next week's episode, we'll have an interview.
What if he came through that
door? We finally figure out what the door's for.
He's Rick's AI.
Yeah. He comes out all shabby. It's like, hello, master.
Pichler, turn down my fan.
Huge beard, braces hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah, so Shauna says that he didn't have signs of depression. He was just excited to move back to LA. That was the whole thing for him. So if that were true, there's just some weird things that happen. I don't know. It just doesn't really make sense. Okay. Joe's family found his inhaler. He was allergic to like fucking everything. He needed that inhaler. He walked around wherever he went with it. He hasn't opened up a fucking nobody's gotten his inhaler under his name anywhere else. He needs that. He would die of fucking not being able to breathe. So that's weird. And why would he have to run? That's the big thing for me. Like, his family was super supportive. They wanted him to go, unless they weren't, and they're making it sound like they were at the end, you know what I mean? Because they made him come home. So maybe they weren't so supportive anymore. I don't know. Maybe they just pretended to be supportive after the fact. Maybe they had enough of his dream and weren't going to support him this time. Your job is at Nextel, damn it. Grow up and be a man. Then he secretly heads back to LA, but never gets any more work because he's the annoying guy who only talks about his fucking magic card collection. And after a few failures, instead of heading back to Bremerton, tail between his legs, he tries to tough it out. survives pretty well at first. He has his trust fund, all his expensive magic cards, and that was all fine and dandy until a few years go by, and he has to hawk his last expensive magic card just to afford a new cocaine habit he's developed trying to be cool in Hollywood. Then it was a downward spiral into Joe's still alive, just living on Skid Row with all the other wannabe ex-child actor stars, addicted to drugs and prostitution that they forgot why they went to LA to begin with. So Joe's alive, check Skid Row.
End of episode.
Yeah, I just want someone to go to Skid Row and be like, Joe, are you there? Like, I bet you no one's gonna lift their hand. It's a theory that's out there that he went there and failed and he's just homeless and fucking destitute on Skid Row, which I'm gonna say could happen.
Yeah,
I mean, like, you'll never hear me fucking say this ever again for the rest of my life, but I'm with the cops on this one.
Yeah. Yes. Maybe. Like, I think honestly, it's one of two things, and that's it's a 50-50 for me. I don't fucking know. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know.
I think the cops happened to get this one right because they're late.
Yeah, probably.
Do we know exactly where this car was parked?
Yeah, we'll get into it in the suicide theory. I'll show you exactly
all
where it
right.
is. So yeah, the next theory is kind of like a mixture of my own and something that's already out there, but like killed for his magic cards. I sounds crazy.
Oh my god. No, it doesn't.
No.
It doesn't.
Not in that wonderful group of people. I would not put it past.
Could we get the brother on the podcast and find out if he got the magic cards to help rule that one out?
I'll tell you in a minute what happened to the magic cards. So speaking of magic cards, maybe there's motive here and he's killed for his expensive collection. Joe's family thinks that he met with some sort of foul play. The biggest problem with that is that they don't know who. So Detective Robbie Davis tells the Pichler family that, you know what, guys, it can't be foul play. No one's ever told me that no one's ever said anything bad about Joe ever. So it can't be foul play. If no one ever says anything bad about you, you can't get killed. Right? Fucking cops, man.
Of course.
Drive me crazy.
True.
Fucking cops. So, like, how would you know, you dummy? The police were terrible in this.
What do you think he got killed for? Was it one like that, maybe?
Could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love that you just have them within reach, RJ. That's so great.
Yeah, maybe a foil.
Ooh.
Maybe it was a Black Lotus. Maybe he had a $500,000 card in his collection.
Funny enough, these ones aren't even mine. These are the ones that Misty uses because I make her use them because no one will play with me. So, so I'll tell you what. It's a good theory because I would kidnap somebody to play magic with me and maybe like accidentally kill them.
There's expensive cards. You could anyway. So police were shitty with this investigation. There's a few things I didn't tell you earlier. So let's talk about their crack investigation. So let's start when they searched Joe's apartment.
Wait, okay. You mean like crack, like sarcastically, their real dedicated investigation?
Oh, yeah.
You didn't mean like crack, like Joe was smoking crack.
No, I mean they're sarcastically. Who knows? He was experimenting. He was an 18-year-old kid, maybe almost 19.
I feel like the zeitgeist kind of left crack behind a little bit at that point. It was just really anybody who like was already smoking. I feel like there weren't any like as many new crackheads in the early 2000s.
Crack's dead now. Crack's not. It's all about the fentanyl.
Well, yeah,
now.
I mean meth, man. Well, fentanyl now because that's all there is. But
Cops search his apartment. Shauna lets them in. She said, "What is it? A few days after his disappearance." And according to her, the police checked his apartment for approximately 3 minutes and said it looked fine and left. Never went back ever. Meanwhile, apparently there was magic cards thrown all over his bed and his closet. And all of his valuable ones were missing.
Wait. Hold on. All right. Were they at least in
sleeves?
Protective covers like this? Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure if they were sleeved or not.
Because that's fucking sadism. That's evil right there.
That is sacrilege. Yeah. Absolute sacrilege.
I feel you. I'm with you, RJ. Like I have some very, very good cards. I played Magic for a long time. I stopped doing it because it's too expensive. Yeah, so all his valuable ones are missing. Now let's talk about the car. Joe's car was never fully looked at or processed for evidence. And if it was, there's no real good fucking evidence sheet of it. Like I told you, they found the poetry, but they also found a bunch of other stuff. They found his cell phone was in there, his driver's license, money, clean laundry in the front seat, like a basket of clean laundry, in addition to the 2 pages of poetry, which were found in the car. The poetry was underneath his clean laundry. It's not like it was on top, like it was buried under the laundry. Kathy said that the car was returned to her It had a bunch of dried vomit in the passenger side of the car, in the passenger seat underneath, like on the side. Police deny seeing vomit. Only the family says there was vomit. Also, in the back seat, there were magic cards all over his back seat. Expensive ones also missing. When confronted about the testing of the car, Detective Robbie Davis said that, I believe they did testing on the car, but I'm not sure because I wasn't in the office on Monday and I don't have the report in front of me, but I'm pretty sure they did it.
Mm-hmm.
No fingerprints were ever taken. No DNA was ever done on the puke or anything like that. What wasn't in the car was weird too. His keys and his wallet were missing. So he left his driver's license in his car, but he had his wallet and his keys on him, I guess, when he left. The note that they found, or the poetry, 2 pages, never been fully released, was actually just sad poetry. Justin says that the poetry doesn't mean that he was depressed at all. Justin, while being interviewed by the police months after, says that the poetry wasn't a suicide note. They wrote it together that night. Justin says that Joe recited the poem and he asked Justin to write it down for him. They obviously didn't do any handwriting comparisons to see that it wasn't even in fucking Joe's handwriting. It was in his friend Justin's handwriting. Justin was interviewed by police twice, and he didn't tell them the poetry thing the first time. They told him the second time. I don't know if that's just because they didn't mention the poetry the first couple days when they interviewed him, or if he just kind of didn't want to tell them about the poetry. Justin was the only person out of the group of friends that was interviewed. I kind of find that weird. The car was found behind the Mexican restaurant. Did he go to the place for food at 4 a.m, drunk, driving? He was hammered, apparently. Just thought this restaurant would be open. Maybe, but nobody that's a pretty busy intersection of Bremerton. If you look on Google Map, people would have saw him around. I know it's 3 a.m. It's not, but somebody would have saw something. Him at least trying to knock on the window of the place to try and get food. No one saw anything, apparently, but the cops didn't really do a great investigation. So maybe someone did, but no one ever came forward. And did someone just find a drunken Joe parked outside a closed Mexican restaurant and him get kidnapped or something? Or did maybe one of his friends do this? They'd probably be one of the only few people that knew about his fucking expensive collection of magic cards. And they're not unsuspicious about this whole thing. They say some pretty weird shit if you look into this. His ex-girlfriend kept saying, she said a bunch of stuff. In one of the interviews she gave, she said that when they were younger, they kept calling Joe the movie star. And I guess these kids all grew up together. It's a smaller town. It's not like you go different school. They're probably different schools, but they all went from little school through high school. They kept calling him the movie star. And then when they got older, they just called him the spunky one, which, what the fuck does that mean? It's super weird to me.
Spunky?
Yeah, what is...
Do you guys not use that word?
It's full of cum.
Full of cum, yeah.
Spunky is also something you'd say if you think someone's handsome or good looking.
Full of cum.
Have you seen this kid?
Yeah. He's
Pichler?
not.
The cum full.
I was going to say, do you think he's handsome? Because I don't know if he's handsome.
No.
I think he might be yeah. Anyways, 6 months after his disappearance, the community held a candlelight vigil for the missing Joe. A lot of his friends interviewed with the local reporters who were covering it. Cammy said that if he returns, I'm going to give him a big hug. Then we're going to punch him. It's 6 months. He's not coming back. You know that, Another friend, Nicole, says that, I hope he just shows up and says he was on vacation the whole time. He's not coming back. You guys know this.
Shut up,
It's
Kristen.
been a while. They're just weird. These people are weird, I find. Another story I saw in Web Sleuths. So I'm going to say this is a Web Sleuth story, not a reporter of some sort. Apparently, Cammy went to the house to visit Kathy at some point, just to kind of talk or whatever. They were friends, they knew. And then during the visit, Cammy mentioned that she and a friend went to the car to remove some embarrassing stuff for her friend Joe. But when she got there, the cops had already found the car. So Kathy's ears perked up and were like, how did you know where the car was? And you didn't tell us. And then apparently Cammy never had a response to that. Police already found it, which is weird. And then during the same conversation, Cammy said that she had a second set of keys for the car for his Toyota. Web Sleuth, though. I'm just going to hammer down. That part's from Web Sleuth. Another thing cops never did was follow up on social media, which is very much common practice now. But back in 2005, everyone was using MySpace. Get your top 8 friends.
Really?
Tom was your pal. God, MySpaces. Yeah, they're all on MySpace. And You look through his old MySpace page. One of Joe's friends left him a message the evening Joe went missing. A girl named Kelly Bork. She was at the vigil. She said that she was nervous about going to Joe's house that night because his friends were planning something sketchy and weird. Like I said, MySpace message, never investigated. Bremerton police never checked any messages. They do go on to his, they have been, I guess, or did at the time, go onto his MySpace to see who was posting on it now, like after he went disappear, like he disappeared, to see if maybe popped up or something. They never went back and looked at like historical stuff, which I found fucked up. No clues that way. So that's for the family to have like suspicion that something fucking bad happened to Joe. I don't blame them. There's a lot too many holes that the cops left open on this one for me not to be like, what the fuck, man? There's some basic shit like fuck, just fingerprints and DNA testing, or even not DNA test, just fingerprint the car or something, you know, interview all of the friends, everyone that was there that night. Just the thought from my side. What do you guys think of foul play becoming this kid? And I think if there was a motive, the motive would be magic cards, honestly, because there are some fucking expensive ass magic cards.
Yeah, but why not just take them all?
Because they're you don't understand magic cards. If these guys understood magic cards, they would take just what's expensive. There's you could have a
that's maybe
quick
maybe,
grab them.
But...
Don't even look at them. All right, cool. All right, we're at the fence. Fuck, it's just islands. It's
that's what I mean.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That could be the problem. Is like if you don't look.
I know, but why would you not grab all of them? It's like
he could have.
If you're robbing someone's house and there's a jewelry box, and you can carry it, you don't take your time to be like, which one might be worth something.
That's different.
No, it's really not.
If he was anything like my son, he would have had suitcases full. Like,
there you go.
Yeah. And I get what you're saying, but I see like I see where you guys are missing each other, because what Richard is saying is that it's likely somebody who knew the value of them. But from Rick's perspective, it's someone who just knew that magic cards in general are valuable and would have
No. I'm not arguing. It could be the foremost. It could be the person that invented the magic cards.
Oh, okay.
Wanting
No,
to steal them.
that's
my entire argument is if you're committing some sort of crime, you're just committing the crime and moving on, right? There's adrenaline involved. You're not sorting through the cards and trying to figure out which ones you want. You're taking them and you're out.
No, what you're doing, if you're a fucking magic card nerd, a lot of time you're gonna have boxes upon boxes upon boxes of trash, worthless pieces of shit cards. Then you're gonna keep all your valuable ones in like a binder or a deck, usually because you're playing with them, or they're in a binder. You're not gonna have one binder, you're gonna have 12 binders, and not every fucking card, even in the most valuable cards, are like worth $2 or $3. Most cards are worth 2 cents.
No. I agree with you in the context of imagine that they're in his apartment and he has hundreds of them, thousands of them. But I'm talking about in the car. It doesn't make sense to spew them everywhere when you think it could be a crime scene. If there's foul play, you grab them and you go. If that's what you're after, you grab them and you go.
Yeah, but like the person could be stupid, like, which is so likely. They're not thinking about fingerprints. They're not thinking about. They're like, oh my God, Joe has that specific fucking like elemental wanderer from 1993. So they're running through all the cards to find specifically what they want as fast as they can, which realistically not that hard.
If you've got super duper expensive, awesome ones, you keep them separate in an amazing like container in their little like plastic sleeve. It's like with comic books.
Sure,
like,
but even if that were true, then like they wouldn't have been a mess in the way they were, right?
Yeah, they would have just taken the folder with the really expensive ones and left all the others neatly packed away the way they were.
The binder, he knows all the really expensive stuff's on the bottom underneath a bunch of boxes. You just grab the whole binder, flip over a box of loose fucking islands. That shit's all over. They don't know the difference. Cops.
But that happens in both the apartment and in the car.
Yes.
Like that's what doesn't make sense. Why is there
you don't understand?
Locations?
I don't even know how to explain to you how some fucking people are into magic cards, and there's so many. It's not even.
No, I understand that idea, but if you have one foul player involved and there's these magic cards, it just doesn't make sense that there's two locations where things would be missing. Like I'm stealing diamonds and I spilled diamonds somewhere. It doesn't make sense that there's two locations where there's evidence of like a rummaging.
Rick's never been robbed, is all that he said. He doesn't realize that after you get robbed and you come back, things aren't like neatly in a place. They didn't just take the box of jewelry. They tipped out 6 drawers of shit that you haven't even looked in 4 years because they didn't know maybe there's something in there. Also, they're fucking assholes.
Rick would be a very considerate.
If they killed this guy over fucking magic cards, they are. But anyways, I understand what you're saying. But like, I think if that would be the only motivation I could think of, or his money, because he probably had a good stash from being a fucking child star for a bit. Like, I'm sure one of the two, but like the money never moved, you know? So like, to me, if there's foul play, which I'm not convinced there is, it's for the magic card, is what I think. Whether that's they robbed it the way you would rob it or not, doesn't really matter to me. I'm just saying that like that actually is a motivation to kill someone because they're so valuable. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether they did it in a fucking efficient or proper way, who gives a fuck?
Well,
they're dummies.
To be clear, like even without taking the magic cards, just by their very nature of existing, there's motive to kill people who play magic. Because it's a cliche, but it's so true. I can't go, like, I don't even like going to this fucking comic shop. I go to one that's 20 minutes away to avoid it. But if I go there and it's Tuesday night, you better fucking believe there is an odor that permeates through the entire fucking store. And it's not a small store. There's places for it to go. So it just happens to go everywhere.
No, and I understand what you're saying, Rick, too. Like, it doesn't seem likely because it's so fucking stupid, but maybe it is the reason. Like, it's so dumb, but it is. It could be a thing. Anyways, that's out there.
His friends don't seem like the type of people that would then be able to offload cards that are super duper expensive in a way that wouldn't be traced back to them. Like, for me, they sound like the type of people that would literally take the really expensive card down to the corner comic book store and try and sell it to the guy behind the counter.
For sure.
And then they're like, hey.
But they're all magic card people, so they're probably just smart enough to keep it in their binder for 20 years and wait because they know it's going to be expensive.
Here's what I think probably happened is that he did, in fact, kill himself, and his friends were like, no, please don't. And as soon as they knew he did, they went and ransacked it.
That's part of the suicide.
I don't think they killed him, but yeah, I think that it just got. And I think the puke could have been from like a homeless guy sleeping in the fucking car.
Yeah,
yeah, or just had some bad Mexican food.
Also true. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the suicide theory, or unaliving yourself. You can't say suicide anymore. I forgot. Unaliving yourself theory. I don't know why you can't say it, but. Sure, let's say unaliving. Police concluded probably pretty right off the bat that this is a suicide just because of the poetry. Kathy Pichler says that the police said that he probably jumped off the nearby bridge into Port Washington Narrows and that it would take months for his body to show up. So that's what they told him. They're like, they told Kathy, like, he probably jumped in the river and we probably won't see his body for months. Kathy's very upset about that because they're very cold. Police deny ever saying that to her at all. Port Washington Narrows separates Bremerton, and there's two bridges that cross it, 3 Mile Channel East and West, Warren Avenue Bridge, and the Manette Bridge. So the Corolla was closer to the Warren Avenue Bridge. He would have had to walk about a half a mile to get there. Someone might have seen him. Like I said, it's a busy place walking. Maybe not, though. Half a mile is not that long. I looked up the weather for that day because I know, like, Seattle's very rainy, Washington, that area. It was a very nice night, 50 degrees, no rain. Nice day for go for a walk. So maybe he did go kill himself. Maybe he walked up to the bridge and just end it after writing some fucking sad ass poetry. It seems a little weird though.
With
like
Justin.
What's that?
Writing sad poetry with his friend.
With his friend Justin.
Himself off a bridge.
Yeah, it sounds weird. Like, why would you park down there then? Like, why don't you just park beside the bridge? You know what I mean? Like, why don't you just, if you're going to go kill yourself, why don't you just park beside the bridge? I know it's only half a mile, but still, it's not, I don't know.
Even at 4 a.m., I feel like that's got to be a pretty hopping area. I don't know if you've looked at it where it is.
I
like,
have. Yeah.
I feel like trucks have to be going across that bridge nonstop.
For sure.
That's like a main crossing.
It's busy. It's like a little industrial, like one of those like strip mall areas where the people would be around there for sure. That's what
I don't think he could go off the bridge without somebody calling it in.
And I don't know, maybe not. You know, like maybe someone did notice him, or someone did, like I said, but cops didn't really investigate. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe he just impulsively did it. He wasn't going to. He's just out walking. Couldn't get at the Mexican restaurant. I'm going to kill myself. I can't get my fucking tacos. Having a bad night, fucking crying, walking around, sees a bridge and just jumps. I could see that happening too.
If he was drunk as well. So.
For sure.
I don't know. I feel like he could have parked closer if he was just looking for a parking lot.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of parking lots right next to the bridge. Like, why even walk all the way down that? I don't
That
know.
was his favorite Mexican restaurant. I'm guaranteeing he went to that restaurant because he loved fucking the literally they say he loved the nachos and cheese there. Like he loved to
That's
go
fine.
there.
You still think he's gonna walk all the way down to the bridge then if he's
He
gonna try and
he wanted a
kill
last
himself?
meal.
Like,
Maybe. Like
why not get back in your car and drive down there and park your car down there?
Just impulsively, like he wasn't gonna do it. He's just like, I'm gonna go for a walk. And then he looked at the bridge and said, my life sucks. I just wrote that poetry. Fuck, Justin was right. I should kill myself or something. Like I could see, like, you're right. It's not logical or whatever, but I could see emotionally getting half mile down, see a bridge and doing it. I could see that. I understand that. But then I look up the bridge. You looked at it, right, Rick?
Yeah.
It seems like fucking people could jump off that and survive. I don't know. But then I start looking into this bridge. Lots of people jump off this bridge.
What time of the year was it?
It was January 5th, so winter.
Oh, he wouldn't have survived it for long. Because it would have been cold as shit.
Yeah. That's true. He would have died in the water. I didn't think of that.
He would have died within 5 to 10 minutes, probably.
I looked it up though. Lots of people jump and survive. There's this literal story where a guy lit himself on fire and jumped off, and someone picked him up and he survived. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
no, I wouldn't discount the suicide theory if his car was closer to something, unless he's like, I see that now. It does not seem like this is a large canyon, but like if the argument was that he went to the Stevenson's Canyon and it was large enough for him to jump there, then I would believe the argument. But he's just too far from the bridge for it to be believable.
Yeah.
Half mile to use long, yeah.
I think it is. I think it's too, and yeah, I don't think it matches up.
I'm down with like believing. Like I said, I don't know. I'm on the middle of this because for me, a half mile is not that much, but like it was a nice night, and I don't know. It doesn't seem that out of the range to walk and fucking impulsively kill yourself, drunken, sad. Maybe it is. I just disagree. You know, I just don't think it's that far of a walk.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with he could have been out. He could have just decided to do it. I don't know. The 4 a.m. walking half mile after already supposedly drinking all night, right? Because the phone call claimed if everything else is true, why would the friend lie about this phone call?
Or maybe he didn't make the phone call.
I wouldn't walk a kilometer if I was going to kill myself. I'd park right next to where I was going to kill myself.
Usually, it's like when it comes to,
I'd lose my nerve. I'd be like,
exactly. Yeah, that's
halfway
what
there, and I'd turn back around.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't know. It just doesn't match up to me.
It's true. Like I said, I don't think it's that much, but I agree that it could be a lot. Like I wouldn't want to walk that much either. But like if I'm not thinking about it, I'm like drunk and walking around. Fuck, wish I had tacos, and then I just fucking see it because I wasn't even paying attention how long I was walking, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm at the bridge right now. Like,
so what year was this?
2006.
Okay, so like people could have been trying to sell Magic the Gathering cards on Facebook just like through like messages, not like through a marketplace.
It would have been January 2006. I don't think Facebook came out until late 2006, early 2007. So it would have been MySpace, if anything.
MySpace,
eBay?
Craigslist, something like that.
eBay.
Because like he's on the main road, he's parked at a random parking lot. Could he have been meeting someone?
Sure, yeah.
For some reason, drunk or 4 or 5 a.m. trying to sell these cards, and then like it could have been a kidnapping to begin with, you know, like
for sure. There's a couple things I do want to say just before we get into our own little theories here. Police dogs were brought in to kind of sniff them out when they were doing that search party thing. Sent to the bridge. Joe Scent was never found on the bridge, below the bridge, near the water around that. So the police actually did do a little bit. That didn't help their theory of suicide at all. In the recent years, police have changed the status of Joe Pichler from a suicide to a missing person. The police have done a couple things. I'm assuming they changed it just to like appease Kathy that it's a missing person. It's not going to change anything. But yeah, so that has been changed, and they did go with dogs at some point. So yeah, that's the theory. Suicide.
Was the laundry
was
the laundry in the car dirty or clean? Do we know that?
Was
that listed anywhere?
It was clean.
It was clean.
Yeah.
Did he have he didn't have his own laundry machine, I'm assuming?
No, I'm assuming he went to his parents' house and brought that back from his parents is my guess.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of unknown to me. I need to know about that laundry because there's only so many laundromats, and that just gives me more locations that he might have been at, and I need to know like proximity and.
Or it could have been a
like
laundromat. They said he's across town from his parents. Bremerton's not small by any means, so he could have been going to laundromat. It's not huge. It's not a super small town. It's not like a town my size. It has stoplights. So yeah, I could have been he went to do his laundry at 2 a.m, fucking drunk as a skunk, and waited there because it's about 4 o'clock when he made his last call. So 2:30, maybe he said, "Oh, maybe I'll go throw my laundry in," and that takes away like suicide to me, because who the fuck's gonna do their laundry if they're planning on killing themselves in an hour? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
so that could be very well be it. And if Justin said they wrote that poetry that night, that laundry was over top of the poetry in the car. So that also points that he went and did laundry that evening, because he would have taken it out and put it on top of the poetry that was just written. He wouldn't have buried it under the laundry that was just already.
Wait, when
in
you
there.
say it was under the laundry, do you mean like in the basket, laundry on top, or like it was under the basket on the seat?
Under the basket on the seat.
I don't know. I could also see him not wanting to drop the paper and just putting it there so that it didn't move. That's a move I would do.
Could be, but I feel like Justin was in the car writing it with him, or was he carrying around the fucking? It's when he gave Justin a ride home. So
This
like,
is why I'm unsure about the laundry,
would be-
because what I want to know is if he went to a laundromat, is it a 24-hour laundromat? And did he decide, I'm going to go clear my head, I'm going to go do my laundry, came back, put the laundry on it, and would that mess up the timeline of calling and writing a note versus...
You've been gone too long. You forgot. This isn't about facts. It's about speculation. And I like speculation a lot more. He was definitely at a fucking laundromat, a 24-hour laundromat. In this theory, whatever your theory is, yes, that's what he was doing. So let's hear what your theory is. Knowing now,
I don't know. I don't have a full theory built out. I'm just saying I'm doing what the police decided not to do with this entire case, and that's collect evidence. Right? I'm trying to get some evidence here so that we can actually put a case together so that RJ doesn't have to agree with them.
There you go.
I appreciate that. But the only thing that's going to change that is if they did actually put in effort. So
no, and then part of my question is like, I understand. Okay, maybe Justin went over to his apartment, ransacked it for the Magic the Gathering cards he knew that were there. But now I want to know is, did anyone on the police force play Magic the Gathering? Because they were so against testing this car. Did they want some of those cards, and did they know that their fingerprints are going to be all over them?
Yeah.
Magic has been 35 million users as of 2014 or something like that.
And they're all in Bremerton.
35 million people is nothing to shake a fit. That's a fucking lot of people play Magic cards. That's crazy. I didn't know that it had that big of a. I knew it was popular, but that popular is pretty crazy.
I want like a Netflix style in like the style of The Watcher. I want a drama about this town just battling over Magic the Gathering cards. So Netflix, if you want to get on that, you guys are probably already on it.
They probably are, because soon as
they're going to do it, but the bad news is it's going to be the first one that's in 4D, so they're going to emanate an odor into your room. You watch it. And,
no.
Yeah, you probably don't want to put it on. It's like they saw the success of Bandersnatch and like Choose Your Own Adventure. So now it's like, here's a smell and you have no choice in it. Is what they're calling it.
Kristy, do you have any thoughts on this? Like, do you have any good theories going? Anything?
I'm stuck on the inhaler. Like,
Yes.
I keep thinking about. So, where was the inhaler? Was it
At
in
his-
his apartment?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm just wondering whether, like, I don't know whether he because he was drunk, and sometimes alcohol can exacerbate asthma. So I'm kind of going from like a medical
Yeah, that's good.
perspective, and it can kind of exacerbate asthma. So maybe he had like an asthma attack, and his friends, because they're such idiots and didn't think to grab his inhaler fast enough, and he might have had an asthma attack. And
It's all a big accident. He fell off the fucking bridge having an asthma attack.
no, and they were like, this is an awesome opportunity for us to ransack his cards. And then
look at Joey's dying
while he's dying, having an asthma attack, and then they've put him in his car and driven him somewhere. And while he's in the car, he's spewing, because asthma, when you get into an asthma attack, like it can cause you to vomit. So maybe he threw up in his car, and then they panicked, threw him over the bridge, and then parked his car in his favorite Mexican restaurant, and then just left.
Do you think we could do a Freedom of Information Act for the Bremerton Police Department? Because I want to see, like, did they look into any call records? I know it probably wasn't mentioned anywhere, but I don't know if it wasn't mentioned because it's just like they didn't share that much back then, or if it just...
I feel like if this was a closed case from the police, the parents and their like Kathy's very into this case still to this day. She still advocates for him to be found. that she would have gotten the police file. So that could be another.
Yeah,
reason
but I don't know.
they
You
changed
really
it
think
to
that
missing person, so they don't have to give him a fucking file. Like you could do that.
maybe, but I don't think you can say. I don't think you can just. I don't think you can assume that most people, just because they give a shit about it, are gonna go through all the paperwork to do a Freedom of Information Act. Like she might just not know how to do it. You know, like
It was her son.
no. I'm not saying she wouldn't do everything in her power to
20
find him.
years.
I'm saying, okay, but if you,
I don't think
most
I have enough
people-
time to do this paperwork. He'll be back right tomorrow.
It's not
He'll be
about
back
time.
tomorrow.
It's just most people don't even know that that's an option. Most people don't know that they can just walk into the police department, file some
She's
special form, and
frustrated.
be like,
Okay, I'm gonna like I see what you're saying, but like she's super frustrated with the police department, so she's gonna say like she literally went into the police officers and went, "Hey, did you guys check the car?" And they said, "I think so." Like she at this point, I feel like she would have been pissed and been like, "Fucking let me know. Like I want to know everything. Tell me." Maybe not though. Maybe not. Maybe who knows what kind of a twat mom it is.
Being like even like a little bit of an elevated profile, it would be insane to me that even if she didn't know, that nobody would have floated that to her in 20 years.
Well, I'm more pissed that fucking Wesley Snipes, De Niro, Clemens, none of these guys are trying to fucking help him find like a Judge Reinhold, for fuck's sakes.
Oh.
You feel like any of these guys would have like this kid starred with you in movies, man. You don't he disappeared, you don't care at all.
What if Jesse Plemons had a premonition? He had a premonition about the future. And he saw him just constantly competing with Joe Pichler. Like, you know, like he saw this perfect world where like Joe Pichler's in Breaking Bad and he's fucking crushing it as this meth head who's like twisted and evil. And then he gets really fat and he does a season of Fargo. And then and then he gets hot again and he marries Kirsten Dunst. And Jesse Plemons saw this, so he killed Joe Pichler.
Yeah, it's the Black Mirror episode that he just had a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
Because Plemons has the best Black Mirror episode. So maybe Pichler had it.
Oh. I don't think it's the best, but I'll give it to you.
It's one of the best anyway. Yeah, there's a lot of good theories here. And Rick, I understand your frustration with this because I fucking did so much research on this and there's not lots. It's the cops and I don't know. Like that's why I wanted to talk to Shauna or like Kathy because it would illuminate a lot of stuff for me what happened behind the scenes that like reporters aren't getting. Unless we ever hear from them, I think the best theory, in my opinion, here's my vote for Kristy solve, is that he called back. He called at 4 a.m, killed himself essentially on the phone. Well, it was at the car. The cell was in the car, so he killed himself. See, that's the other thing, Rick. You're right because that's a long walk.
The timeline doesn't match up. The timeline doesn't match up.
So long. I still think he killed himself and his friends went and rifled through his magic cards. Like that's what I think too. I think he killed himself.
The friends almost set this up to make it seem like one of two things is going on. Either the friends did have some involvement or know where he actually is, and they're afraid that they're going to get in trouble, or he had been telling them that he was going to leave and they thought they were covering for him. So I don't know which one it is, but there's like some weird shit going on where they were saying he was at a party and he was acting weird. And then this poem was written over the phone. And then he said he'd call me back and then he never did. And then he knew where the car, like too many things line up for them to not know more about what's going on. I don't know. Yeah. Again, the police collected very little evidence, it sounds like. So there's nothing here that says one of the friends necessarily did it, but it doesn't line up with a suicide case. Like, hey,
I do want to I want to say this again, just for everybody's sake. A lot of the stuff that points to the friends is from web sleuths. Like a lot of that speculation comes from somebody on the web sleuth saying they're a friend of the family.
You're saying that like it's not an incredibly prestigious and accredited collection of investigators.
Yeah, okay. I can go on it and fucking spout out theories, Sam fucking cousin, if I want. Like,
okay, well, I didn't know what it was until today.
So yeah, there you go.
I still don't actually.
People who listen to lots of true crime know web
negativity.
sleuths a lot. I'm just saying that, like, yes, they have actually done a lot of good in true crime, but they've also done a lot of shitty things in true crime. So I don't want to put everything. I'm just saying a lot of the stuff, that part of it, where it kind of like makes the friends look like they did it, is from that family friend who wants to set the record straight on fucking web sleuths. Whether that person is telling the truth or not, who the fuck knows or cares?
Well, they have an online portal for records requests, so I just have to make an account and then I'll go from there.
You do that, dude. You let me know. We'll have fucking part 2 once you fucking crack this case wide open. I think.
Well, I just want no. Well, I don't even know that there's going to be any additional. I want to see first off if they don't release it because it's a missing persons case. I don't think there's any exemptions to not release it. So then they're covering something up, and then it's like actually something we can do a story on. If they do release it and there's absolutely nothing in there, then RJ can just bash the police more.
Just
so
RJ?
it's kind of like a win-win.
Can I do it? Can I bash the police too?
No, we're at our quota.
Fuck.
I don't care what the truth is. I'm gonna bash the police.
Okay. So my vote, killed himself. Friends rifled through the magic cards. That's what they're trying to hide, is the fact that they stole all his expensive magic cards. And that's the end of that. That's my vote. So what do you guys vote for our solve here?
I really like Kristy's version of events. I feel like we didn't hang on that enough because
that's true too.
With puking with asthma, I can relate to that so fucking hard because I unsurprisingly have asthma. So
usually comes with thick glasses
and Magic the Gathering cards. It's a starter pack. When you're diagnosed with asthma, you get thick glasses and a box of Magic the Gathering cards.
Here, rifle through this. The glasses will help.
Oh fuck.
Cool. And then Rick's vote is foul play.
No, I actually go with he was going to try and hitchhike back, and I mean there was at somewhere along the line some foul play, but not from anyone that we've actually heard about so far.
Okay.
I think he was going to try and hitchhike his way back to LA.
And then Kristy, what's your vote? Because you got to vote now too.
Yeah, no, I think just medically, all the medical stuff for me, like with the vomiting in the car. And
I don't honestly, I sorry, I should probably say this because I didn't say it when you were saying it earlier. I don't know necessarily that he had asthma. I know that he was allergic to like dust mites, fucking every last thing under the.
Yeah,
that's asthma because I don't have like, oh, I'm running and wheezing asthma. I have the dog sneezes in my mouth and my throat's
There's different types.
Asthma.
Okay.
Yeah.
So fair. So okay, so you could just puke from that. That is as reasonable as any other one.
And they just panicked and they were just like, "What the fuck are we gonna do now?" Because he.
No, I bet it was way worse than that. See, what I was thinking is that like he's like, and they're like, Joe.
Yeah.
And they just sat back and watched it happen.
Like,
and they're just like looking at the cards and him.
The inhaler, from the inhaler to the cards, they're just like,
somebody call someone.
The magic cards being chucked all over, especially the way they talk about how he liked magic cards, they wouldn't be like that unless someone was rifling through them. So I believe that has something to do with all of this. I'm gonna go with you guys. Like whatever. I'm cool with him having an asthma attack. They fucking panic. I know what you did last summer to him over a fucking railing, and he may or may not come back in a slicker. We're like holding a fucking box, like a firm box of magic cards. Like, where's my cards? I know what you did last summer.
That would hurt like hell.
That's way too many people that would have to be in. I don't know.
He's turned into a full cleric. He's just like,
I don't believe that these random people just ditched a body so quickly and
have you
nobody
not
ever figured
seen
out where it
Jennifer
was.
Love Hewitt chuck someone over the edge and everyone just kept the secret for one full year? Come on.
Yeah, but
once you do one,
that's
you
what
can
I'm
do
saying is by now somebody would have ratted somebody.
Oh, for sure. I agreed, but like it could have just been Justin or one of the other people. Like I'm just saying Justin as like Justin. If you're listening to this, I don't think you did it. Honestly, I think it's suicide. But I mean, if it was someone,
but Justin, it's super weird that you and Cammy knew where the car was.
That is fucking weird. That's fucking very weird.
But even that is circumstantial because it's just what the brother said. It felt like. First off, the town's not very big, right? I would also go to the main road, drive down it, keep looking left and right, and say, "Oh, look, there is his car." He's on a main road,
like the parent. It's been 3 or 4 days. That you don't think mom or AJ would have driven down that same road looking for the same shit eventually? Like it's not a very big town, so like, was it there the whole time, or did they just put it there later? Like that's another question that is not.
Could have been, but then where was the car before that? That's the other like
garages exist, my friend. Places you can fucking
these are like. They're all young.
Yeah, agreed for sure. That's why it's so fucking mystery. There's nothing out. There's not enough information out there really to make it good. So he had an asthma attack, and they fucking. I know what you did last summer to him, and he's coming back in a slicker to fuck us up. That's what my vote is now.
Great theory.
I hope you get the information. You get the police.
Yeah,
file on
I'm
it.
trying to find some information.
Are you on the phone right now?
What they?
or is-
No. What they want is
This is Rick Getz. I'm looking for some information. Why don't you
They
call one of your
asked
buddies
for,
in
like-
the FBI?
they asked for like incident number. This case has definitely not reached that high. There would be more. You would know so much more about it if
Bremerton, Washington. Do I know anybody in Bremerton, Washington? Nope. Okay.
Oh, I do.
Okay, cool.
Joe Pichler.
Because he's still there.
Yeah.
Kids on their birthdays. You remember him from Kids on Their Birthdays? The Tom Arnold classic.
his birthday's Valentine's Day.
It is.
In case you're wondering.
V-Day, baby. All right, well, I think that's like I know we're not going to all agree on this one, but I mean, Rick, are you?
No, I agree with you.
I'm about to submit it right here. I just have to type them.
All right, well, we're going with Asthma Attack.
A
Watch 'em
mixture.
die. Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, mixture.
I'm cool with it. Thanks for coming, Kristy. The best.
Yeah,
For
it's
having
good
me.
seeing
It
you.
was so yeah, it was wonderful seeing you guys too. I miss you all.
I miss you too. I'm sorry we had to wake you up so early, but I mean, just hoping to get some slurs.
That's why you look so good. You said your beauty slurs this morning.
Yeah, that's right.
I just watched Private Dicks and I think RJ's the funniest.
What? Come on.